Welcome to Creatively Exposed, a podcast and safe space for Black and marginalized creatives to empower, educate, and uplift you through the final product of self and creation. Bring a homie, share with a homie, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Creatively Exposed. Y'all, this motherfucking time. It's real early if you're listening to this in the morning, my bad. But we have officially sprung forward. If you are in the US, feels a little oppressive, I'm gonna be quite honest. Having 1 hour less of the weekend, I felt it. I feel it in my spirit. But anyway, so I've been thinking, had a couple of therapy sessions this week, and I've really been thinking about life in general. I mean, I guess I'm usually thinking about life, and the last few weeks I definitely was discussing burnout, and I was away for a week, went on a reset, and what I've been thinking about is a couple of things. It's the struggle with receiving. So I guess this is for my folks who are the well, right? The village for many people, and as I've been thinking about like what does it include? What does my village consist of? What if you have a village but you don't have the capability to receive what they're willing to give, right? Because of the usual suspects, guilt and shame around not having all of this shit together, right? And it's just something that I'm still chewing on, and what it does for my creativity. For the last 2 weeks, creativity has not been a thing. Until I completely stopped everything around me and disconnected. Like, I brought my computer to like, oh, let me redo my website for my business. What? I didn't do none of that. Not a damn thing. And I think that we, and of course when I say we, I definitely mean I, but as a community, I think that rest isn't seen as something efficient. And so a lot of us don't give ourselves that, even though rest is the most important thing. If you realize the countries where people last the longest, it's because leisure and lollygagging are in the day to day, right? There's the ability to go for a walk to a park, or there's nature somewhere, or vacations are longer, whatever. And to no longer be burnt out and to think about, like, first of all, I want a life I don't have to vacation from. Period. And so how does one go creating and becoming a sanctuary for self? Because one thing that I'll tell you is that writer's block, that lack of inspiration, the being stuck and staring at a blank page, or that last sentence that's been there for the last 6 months, a lot of it has to do with everyone has limits. Everyone has a level where they're like, I can't do this shit no more. And for me, it's been, how do I find ways to nourish my soul on a holistic level in order to be able to be that fountain of creativity? Because I used to knock out like 4 poems a day on some days, right? Especially when I wasn't working. Now I'm working full time, business, etc., and I ain't got the energy for absolutely nothing. Um, and so it's like, how do I give more to me versus overexerting myself for others? And most times, nobody asked me to overexert myself, right? It's my default. It's the thing that's like, oh, you need help, let me, I'm gonna just jump in. And so it's like, but who helps you? Who helps you, sis? Like, who comes and is like, I got you? And so it's not that everything needs to stop completely, right? But you're, for yourself, for your body, things need to stop until you are out of balance. And the problem with that is the world that has been set up in a way where we gotta work, we gotta produce, we gotta do all of these things doesn't allow us that. So, like, how do we begin to work towards not just self-care on the weekends or once a week or whatever? How do you have a life that you're legit not passively living in? And that's where I'm at with my own journey. I haven't been able to create much, um, working on it, but it has been a struggle. It's been more of like brainstorming and preparing for things instead of execution. Cause she don't got it, yo. She do not got it. Even this like damn time change. It's already night. It's already late. It's already bedtime. That's some bullshit because I know it's not bedtime. So I guess some things that I can recommend. I don't got all the answers. That's for sure. It's still something I brought it up this week, so it's still something that I'm like, And is it this week? This week there's a moon in Virgo, so you might feel like putting your life together or making a plan to put your life together, right? In whatever aspect that is in your chart. And so I feel it on my spirit. I feel that spring cleaning coming. I feel all of these things. I know that something I did learn while I was away was my cousin, my dope ass cousin said, I live my life like I'm in a movie. And I'm like, yo, that is like the wildest shit, like complete life altering thing, right? Because, like, what would you do? How would you live differently? How would you exist in your world, your movie, right? You choose the setting. You are, like my therapist said, creative director, producer, wardrobe, all of it, right? If your life is the dopest movie, right? The docu-series, the whatever. If you were living your life like you are the movie and in the movie, how would you go about life differently? Ooh. And that reminds me, and so one of the ways that I'm doing it is that I want to luxuriate more in my life. I want to be able to savor life. Oh, I'm about to grab tea, so if y'all not into ASMR or whatever, my bad. Um, I want ease and softness, but I also want to be a baddie, right? Like, and I have to think about, what do those things entail? You know, am I gonna switch up the librarian swag for something a little bit more risque? Probably. Does my home feel like a sanctuary? Do I like take a deep breath and just like, oh, I finally made it home kind of thing? What can I do day to day to become who I'd like to be tomorrow? And so there was a tweet. I don't remember all of the words, but it's basically like, you live your dream in small pieces at a time until it builds to that, right? Like, if I want ease, how do I add ease in my day to day to where I feel replenished? And you may not have the answers for that. You may have to do some experiencing, some living, some testing out the waters and seeing what works and what doesn't work. You know I want softer things, and just like life wise, but also fabrics. So like a new comforter or a blanket or an accent piece that just like gives me a little bit of what I'm looking for every day. And this this life of needing to pay to live and survive is just, it's ghetto. That's the best way for me to describe it. For anyone who wants to know, I am having a honey lavender tea, and oh, this is great. These have like the little comments on it. It's like, be kind to others, but always be compassionate to yourself. And so, another thing that is on my shondo, on my spirit, is the fact that it's easier to allow life to happen to you than to be accountable for your life. And what do I mean by that? I mean, oh, I don't have the ability to decide for myself. That's bullshit. Unless someone else is legally taking care of you, right? That's different. But if you are fully autonomous, you have the capacity to curate your life however the fuck you want to. And even allowing yourself helplessness is making a decision to be helpless, right? There are things that are not controllable by us, but there are things that we could change. It doesn't have to be immediate. Like, for example, I mean, we are in the great resignation, and so it's a employees market right now. If you don't like where you are, even if it's that you want to go on your own, but you just ain't ready yet to either start a business, freelance, or just, not work for the next year or so, you could still find another place to work that makes you more money, right? And this is where I say, you have a choice, but do you want to get out of the comfort zone of the trash that you've been in? And I say that because I've been that person. I'm like, oh, I'm tired of being here and whatever, whatever. But is you gonna leave? Is you gonna leave? Right? Body things. Oh, I'm not comfortable in my body. How do you start changing that.